How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Is Mr. 100 running out of money? I saw someone talking about that, wondering if that's what's happening because something interesting is happening with their buys. We also have a golden cross where every time this has happened, it's led to a massive Bitcoin rally. We also have Tom Lee still thinking that Bitcoin's going to six figures this year. We also have some new information about law, and we have some new inflation data. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. Also, if you want to trade crypto, this is the time to be trading crypto during a bull run. Trade it on Margex underneath the video. You can sign up in just a few minutes, and you don't have to give your personal information. You don't have to KYC. So definitely check that out underneath the video. They're doing a big airdrop right now where you can get up to $5,000 worth of Caspa tokens. I definitely think it's worth trying out. And even if you're trading on another platform, try out Margex. See if you like it. They allow you to use different forms of collateral that no other platform allows you to use. So for the Bitcoin chart, you can trade with Solana or Caspa or USDT or Ethereum, etc. So check that out underneath the video. It is powered by TradingView as well. Now, let's start here. CPI yesterday came in at expectations. Today we have PPI coming in slightly above expectations. Month over month, it was 0.2%. The core was 0.3%. Expectations were a tenth less on both of them. So PPI came in at 1.7% versus the expected 1.7%. PPI core came in at 2.4 versus the expected 2.4. Now, to be clear, they round these, which is why PPI can come in higher than expected. But then year over year, it's the same. So it came in slightly hotter. Keep in mind, this is what the CPI chart looks like. We have CPI going from 3.5% 5 months ago, 6 months ago, to now 2.5%. On PPI, it was at 2.7% just a couple months ago. Then it went to 2.2. Now it's at 1.7. So we are losing a couple of the big increases from last year where we saw like a 1% move on PPI. So we're losing those and we're getting 0.1, 0.2, 0.3% months. Overall, I know that the market has fallen down. Bitcoin's fallen down since the PPI came out. It was at, Bitcoin was at 58,000, maybe even a touch above it. Now it's at 57.7. The fact is, this is still getting lower. PPI is getting lower year over year. It's moving in the right direction. It is well below 3%. It's below 2% on PPI. Even CPI is coming down. Overall, I think we're in a pretty good place. I know there are going to be people that react to this and think it's really negative, but overall, if you don't just look at expectations, but you actually think about the broader picture, it's actually coming down. European Central Bank cuts rates by 0.25% for the second time this year. Canada's cutting rates. The US is going to cut rates in the next week. So overall, it seems like things are moving in the right direction for global liquidity to spike up, for people to start getting more liquidity, more loans, that kind of stuff, be able to reinvest in themselves. I think things are going to look pretty good in the future, and Bitcoin does quite well when global liquidity moves up. The net flows from the ETFs were negative yesterday. So BlackRock had 0. Grayscale had negative 5 million. Grayscale Mini had negative 0.5 million. Fidelity plus 12.57 million. ARK-B negative 54 million. And then Invesco had inflow of about 2.6 million. So not a ton of flows yesterday, not a ton of movement, but overall it was a negative day. It seems like we've just been chopping around, and some people are even looking at Mr. 100 thinking, and we'll get to the moon stuff in a second. This is more the part that people probably don't want to hear, but they're wondering if Mr. 100's running out of money, which sounds crazy because look at all these buys. But if you look, some people think it's an exchange. I don't think it's an exchange based on the flows. It doesn't look reminiscent of an exchange to me. I know some people think this is up it. Could always be wrong, but whoever it is, right? They're accumulating a bunch of Bitcoin. They have started to slow. So you look here, almost all the purchases were over 100, right? 102.66, 100.01, 100.02, but then you start getting into 95.7, 98, 100, 100, 96, 94. Now we're starting to get in the 80s, 88, just under 100, 102, 86, 84. People are wondering, is Mr. 100 running on money? Now, in the past, Mr. 100 has slowed down buying or even stopped buying for extended periods of time, maybe a couple weeks. Now you can see buys every day, I think since the beginning of September. Yeah, you can see 901, 902, 903, 904, 905, 906, 907, 908, 909, and 10, 911. So, they could just stop buying and then get a bigger buy, like 100 and 190 instead of 2 buys for 85 or 90, right? So they could do that, but yet they're buying in smaller increments. So I'm not sure. I saw someone saying, well, maybe they're running out of money, and it's definitely possible. They've put in $3 billion worth of Bitcoin into this portfolio. Now it's worth $4.3 billion. It's definitely possible they could be running out of money. But I think just in general, they could just wait a little bit to buy, and then they'd still be buying over 100, and then we wouldn't even be having that conversation. So I don't think that's necessarily going on, but who knows, right? Their purchases have been similar the entire time, but they've been odd. Sometimes buying 2,400 Bitcoin in a day, sometimes just selling randomly or transferring randomly some Bitcoin. So it's hard to nail down exactly what's happening. I'm not sure we'll ever fully know what happened here with Mr. 100, but I realize that some people are talking about it, so I want to cover it. Like I said, just impossible to know really what's going on. But what we do know is they have not been selling, right? They've just been accumulating a ton of Bitcoin in this wallet. Okay, Titan of Crypto talking about the golden cross. In past cycles, every time a golden cross appeared on the 2-month chart, it led to a massive Bitcoin rally. Will this time be any different? This is where the 20 SMA passes the 21 EMA. Back in 2013, we got a big rally. 2017, big rally. 2021, big rally. Possibly a big rally after this. I think history usually rhymes. I do think we're going to have a pretty good next year as well. So would not be surprised to see this actually happening. Let me know your thoughts on that, though, underneath the video. Tom Lee thinks that we're still moving up. He said that he thinks Bitcoin could break $100,000 after the U.S. election and mid 6 figures within 2 years. That's not a stretch, he says. So doesn't look quite as confident there as he has in the past when we were racing up from 38,000 to 74,000 maybe. But I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin do really well the rest of the year, like I said. Now, of course, there's going to be volatility, so be ready for that. UK draft law could classify Bitcoin and digital assets as personal property. The legislation will mean that the sector can maintain its position as a global leader in crypto assets and bring clarity to complex property cases. UK is difficult right now to work with, to produce content in. I know there have been several companies that have asked me to specifically region ban, and these are some of the largest exchanges. I don't even want to necessarily say who they are. They're not companies I work with, but they've asked me to region ban UK viewers because of the fact that they can get in trouble if they're advertising for crypto there. So I think they should let up on the rules a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see how this all works out, especially if we have a big bull run. Will that change how the laws are for Bitcoin and crypto? Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. If you think we are going to get a face melting rally, which a lot of people I feel like are beaten down by the volatility, by the chop. But if you think we're moving up, maybe you want to sign up to go trade crypto. But let me know if you've been accumulating over these last 6 months or if you've just been sitting, waiting. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys all in the next video.